Hi everybody and welcome to Activating Activism. Today is our very first interview and I'm lucky enough to have waiting on the other end of the line three lovely lads from Wales. As you can see there, they're from the State of Nature podcast and they're going to be joining very shortly. We're going to be talking about what's led them to activism and where they hope it can go after that. So I'm just going to invite them in now. Let me just give me a second there. Hello to those gents. Oh, they're in Cardiff at the moment. They've been invited, so here they come. Hello there, gentlemen.
Hello. Hello, how are you?
I'm very well. Yourselves?
Good, thanks. Yeah, we're good.
Fantastic. That is some fancy wallpaper you've got behind you there.
Yeah.
That is really nice. So, I'm going to ask you a few questions about you guys, about, well, everything really, if that's okay. So, why don't you start off and tell us a little bit about yourselves?
So we are a podcast and we do a lot of stuff about nature and we want to teach people about climate change and stuff like that and to educate them about that.
Fantastic. And, maybe your names, how old you are, where you live as well, if you want to share that information. Well, you don't, not exactly where you live, obviously.
Yeah.
So obviously I know you're from Wales, but you're not going to say, well, I live at number 14 High Street. So
Yeah.
tell us a bit about yourselves kind of personally.
Detailed information.
I'm Sarah and I'm 12.
So I think we're all at 12. My name's Trevan.
I'm
It's a
Joe.
Welsh name, that's Joe. And this is Sarah. So don't try and really pronounce them because they're very, very hard to pronounce, I think.
Yeah, my sister and my parents live in Wales, so my niece is actually bilingual in Welsh, but I'll tell you what, my Welsh pronunciation is quite bad, I have to say. It is quite bad, so I won't go too far into that one. So thank you very much, gents, and it's lovely having you on this first episode of Activating Activism. So I'd like to know what inspired you to start your podcast. What was that inspiration, that light bulb moment?
So I think in the lockdown we all got quite bored and me and Joe started a podcast together. It didn't go very well and Trevan made one as
I
well.
made a podcast too.
And
then
I think I think early December we started to discuss, well, I think we should make a podcast about the environment together. And then that's what we did, and that's we're here now.
Excellent. Well, Charlie's there has said nice to meet you boys. Great guy, that Charlie. So was there anything in particular about kind of nature that you wanted to start with, or have you always been kind of fairly in touch with nature?
Yeah, I think we've always been quite interested in the climate movement.
Yeah. We were very interested and we were just we wanted to do like a lot of stuff to do it, but then we didn't really know exactly what to do. And then we thought, wait, a podcast, so we could educate people and we could tell everybody about the climate change and what's happening. So
Yeah.
Brilliant. So what do you hope to achieve in the long run with this? What's your kind of end goal? What do you want to do?
I think we want to obviously spread awareness on this topic, educate people. That's it really, just so they can make more informed decisions on how to be a bit more eco-friendly and stuff like that.
Oh, that is brilliant. I love that. Now, what I'd like to ask you now, something I find as a teacher and an adult, I'm sorry, I'm one of those as well, even though I do quite often behave like somebody who maybe isn't an adult. I know that adults think they know everything and they don't really listen very much to students. So what I'd like to know from you is, if you were running the schools, what would you be teaching the students?
I think maybe stuff about sustainability and things people don't know about, and maybe teach them how to be more eco-friendly in their houses. And also we do this thing called Amgil. I don't know what it means in English. I think it's to do with the environment, and it's kind of a environment council we do in the school, and we do projects for the school to make it more eco-friendly and some.
Yeah, I think if we were like running a school, we'd probably do it as eco-friendly as we can, and like probably do, like the lessons more like outdoor kind of thing and more like relaxing, and yeah.
I love that idea of, the more you're in nature, the more you love nature, the more you love nature, the more you care about the state of nature.
In like some lessons, maybe like we go on a walk, and that's how we like teach the kids what animals around us and stuff.
That's a great idea. That's brilliant. So obviously, you're switched on, as Tommy has said there. You're pretty switched on at your age. I know that I certainly wasn't. But is there anything that you want to learn about? So is there anything that you might say to your teachers, hey, Mr. Jones, using a generic Welsh name there, sorry about that. Hey, Mr. Jones, I really want to learn about the effects of fossil fuels on the planet, or something like that.
I think I want to learn, and probably other people my age, they always talk about, and the press always talk about things that important stuff, but they're always the same things, and maybe you don't know the backstory of it, and also more other stuff that the press don't talk about that are as important or even more important.
Maybe like the more detailed stuff. So instead of just like Claire was saying, instead of like the just the well-known facts, maybe like go more into detail with those, so people can like understand more about it, I think.
Yeah, so rather than just saying, I don't know, the ice caps are melting, we could maybe say why the ice caps are melting and what could be done to stop the ice caps melting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's something I try and do here with Renewable English, because in all of I'm obviously an English teacher, English as a foreign language, and in all the textbooks, you have Unit 1's about family, Unit 2's about food, Unit 3's about whatever. Unit 7 or 8 is usually about the climate and it's all terrible. So obviously students kind of get to that unit and go, well, I don't want to read this. So what I've kind of tried to do with the first series of Renewable English is show everyone, well, clothes, this is what clothes do with the environment, and transport, this is what transport does. So try and kind of include it everywhere.
Yeah, I think, I agree with that.
Something lovely that's happened here in Spain, actually. I say lovely, I don't know how lovely it's going to be yet. I'm actually writing a blog on it at the moment, and that is the new law has stated that by the time children leave primary school, now I can actually read the translated quote for you here, they understand the systematic relationship between human actions and the environment. They begin to adopt sustainable life habits in order to contribute to the conservation of biodiversity from both a local and global perspective. So this is a government law that's been in place that by the end of primary school, students need to know that. Now, they haven't given a huge amount of help of how they're going to do that, but, so it's a start at least. I mean, it's somewhere that we've started. So, a big question here. Now, this is a really big one for you. How can people your age make a difference?
I think the most important thing is get involved, and don't wait for. You're not going to learn that much about it in school. So do your research at home, and maybe join some clubs that do stuff about the environment.
I think that's a really good idea. Like Claire said, like do as much research as you can, and then when you've done as much research as you can, then you can educate other people. And then it's just like this is going to keep happening, and
I love it. I mean, something I love to do with my daughter is on our way to school every day, we take our gloves and we take a bag and we clean up the litter on the way to school. You know, it's not a huge thing, but it's doing something every day. And I know it's not the cure. What we need to do is stop people using this single-use plastic and educate people not to just throw it on the floor when they've finished their packet of crisps or whatever. But it feels like when you're actually doing something every day, it keeps it in your mind and it makes you want to learn more as well. So that, for me, is one of those small things, one of those early steps that you can take.
And then, like, after, like, I don't know, like a year of doing that, when you look back and, example, imagine if you could count all the plastic bits or all the rubbish that you've picked up and put in the bin would be very, very big and had made an impact. And if lots of other people can do that too, and they are, then that turns into like a very, very big thing that helps the climate and nature and stuff.
Exactly, you know, it stops that plastic going into waterways, and it stops it stops animals feasting on these on this plastic. So what we've tried to do in my daughter's school is kind of get it going and try and get other kids to do it. So, you know, it starts out with just us doing it, but, you know, I like to look at it as that's the kind of influencer. I do it like that because obviously I'm not an influencer, but that's the kind of influencer I'd like to be seen as. You know, I'd like people to see me doing these positive things, these nice actions towards the planet, and then, you know, hopefully it can spread. And it has expanded. There are other people doing it as well, which is nice. Now I do have one more question. I'm just gonna grab this over here. Now I've got one of these. Now I heard about you guys because of the absolutely incredible, absolutely flagulous, where you can get these made. I just want to know, how did you hear about Absolutely Flagulous?
I think it just popped up. I don't remember where, but I just saw the thing she made, and I was like, oh, that.
The post on
Yeah.
our For You page, and then we thought, wow, that's actually really, really cool. We thought maybe we could get one our own. Don't know where it is.
I could go get it. It's upstairs.
Yeah.
Go on, show us. I want to show everybody. We can do flag sharing. You see, I love flags. I absolutely love flags. So when there was an opportunity to have literally my own flag, I was like, I am getting one. I'm getting one right now. So I absolutely love it.
That's exactly what went through our mind. And we've got one with our logo, the Safe Nature Podcast. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like something like to look at, and just hang it up. It looks really, really nice.
And it's different. It's not like just a sticker or something like that.
Yes.
It's something a bit different, a bit special. I really like it.
It looks cool, and it's really cool. Here it is, I think.
There you go. Look at that. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Flag share time. I really love your podcast. Do you want to tell everybody a little bit more about it and how we can get hold of it, how we can watch it, and where can we find you guys? Tell all of our. Obviously, we've got a few people watching now, but there are going to be millions of people viewing it later on IGTV. It's going to be spread across the world. So tell everybody how we can watch what you and tell us a little bit more about the podcast as well.
You can listen or even watch on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anything you can listen to podcasts on. And we're also on YouTube, so you can see our lovely faces. And please subscribe. It would help very much. And I think, and we do
pretty much
every week, nearly.
We try and think of nearly every subject to do with the climate and nature and stuff, so we can educate everybody else. So we tend to try and do as much topics as we can, so we can educate other people too.
I mean, that's the key, really, isn't it? I mean, I know there are kind of lots of specialists in certain areas, and that's a great thing that we as educators, me and you guys as well, because you are educating as well, that's something we can use our platform for. We can work together, and we can find these experts and bring them in to help us learn as well. And when we learn, as you say, we can kind of share our knowledge. That's something I really love about this. So one section I did was all about beauty. Now, you can tell I'm not the most beautiful person in the world, but we talked all about the different issues with makeup, and how 70% of makeup has palm oil in it. We talked all about shampoo as well, which you can see something very important to me at the moment. But yeah, I've just found that for me as an educator, it's really helped me open my ears and open my eyes as well, and not just rest on what I know, because I've studied quite a lot. I've done a lot of research, but I know that I don't know everything. So having these people on to help me talk about it, and having these kind of different areas to look at, it's really helped me an awful lot. And yeah, I think you do something similar, as I say, by looking at all the different areas and learning yourselves and sharing that. And I just want to say, hats off to you guys. Now, I've removed the dramatic effect by taking it off before and talking about shampoo, but yeah, hats off to you guys for what you're doing. I know that a couple of people in here have already subscribed to your wonderful channel. Two wonderful guys, Tommy and Charlie. I want to say thank you for not only today, because it's been lovely having you on today and having you as our first activating activism guests. We've got a few more lined up for August before we start with the second series of Renewable English in September. I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on you guys, and following you along your journey. So
Thank you so
thanks for today.
much. We really
But not
enjoyed
only, oh no, it's been brilliant. Thank you.
You
But not only
inspired
thanks for
us.
this, thanks for everything that you're doing. Look, I love your work. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm jealous that 24 years ago, when I was your age, 25 years ago now, I didn't have much of an idea. I knew that I shouldn't waste, but I wasn't that involved. And that's an issue of my generation, of the generation above me and the generation above them. But in people like you, the next generation has some hope. So thank you very much for coming on today, guys.
Hopefully. Thank you
for inviting us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Been a pleasure. I'll see you later, gents.
Right.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.